Hey guys,
Hey guys.
happy day two of quarantine with the Sanchez's. We're outside tonight because the lights may not be very good, but just listen. I'm
Hear
sorry.
traffic?
Well, there's some traffic. Yes, that's what the city boy would hear. I hear frogs, and I love that.
Those are frogs? I thought they were crickets.
No, those are frogs.
Okay.
Those are frogs, right? Somebody comment below. I'm pretty sure they're frogs.
Yeah, they are. I was just joking. City boy, so.
City boy, yeah. Well, you're used to crickets, right?
Yeah,
It has crickets in the city?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or depending what part of town, might be gunshots, but who knows?
Crickets, gunshots, whatever. Anyway, we get a lot of gunshots out here too, because people are just target practicing, not people target practicing. Okay, so updates for today. We're tired, so tired, like so super tired. We had to go first thing this morning, drop the Jeep off
to get the window fixed.
Resealed because it was whistling. Update on that, it's still whistling. So we picked it up, and Oscar's like, well, why don't you drive the Jeep home because you got the ear. And so I picked up.
Look who you have here.
There's a Kit Kat. Yes, for those who are asking, we keep the dogs inside and the cats outside. I know that's a little backwards for some people, but I don't trust these animals. I'm just saying. Anyway, so I wound up saying, Oscar, I'm going to have to turn right around and go back. It's whistling worse than it was before. Long story short, they have no idea. But because of said coronavirus, he's like, you know what? Why don't we just put it on hold? I'll put it in the chart that we're going to have to fix this. And he said, we'll just try it tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, but like in a few weeks when everything cools down. And I'm completely okay with that because like we don't plan on driving anywhere. So it's not going to matter at all. Ow, claws, dude. The other thing as far as updates go, we mentioned that we were tired, but we also feel incredibly blessed. We were talking about it on the way to town today about how, life, people are always saying like, oh, you got to be a strong person or you're tough or whatever. Life's, got a lot of challenges, but you know what? We are so lucky. We're lucky to have found love. I mean, people have read that in movies, or I remember watching those movies and thinking, that never happens. Clearly it does. We live in a country where, we're freaking out because we may run out of toilet paper, which is first world we're not worried about that, but some people are. First world problems. We're able to walk. We have amazing children. We have just been blessed beyond measure. And so then, while we were in town and Maddie sent the text, please get bananas, please get grapes. Oh, and I need contact solution.
We got a
he
list
braved
from Maddie.
Aldi's. And between Aldi's and the Dollar General, trying to get some more allergy medication and little supplies like that, we wound up spending about $100 more than we had really planned for, budgeted for. And we just kind of looked at each other and was like, well, Lord, these were things that we needed. We don't know how long we're going to be in isolation. And I did get a couple of little bags of chocolate because, hey,
someone has a chocolate fetish.
Somebody has an issue. And I know I have a couple of you friends on there that's like, stop eating sugar. I'm trying, I promise. And it's getting better. But anyway, so when we got home, at the end of the day, we're tired, exhausted. And I checked the mail just to have a card from one of my auxiliary sisters and his union brother. And it had a $100 bill in it. So you know who you are.
Thank you very much.
There were lots of tears shed and it just shows God's faithfulness, that God knows what's coming ahead, even when we don't know. And he's preparing the way, and he's preparing and telling us, don't worry, even with the finances, which is pretty scary for everybody. And you guys know what all we've been through in the last 3 to 4 months.
Yes.
And it's, still an ongoing thing, but God has been so incredibly faithful. And so I thought about earlier starting to list people, and I thought, you know what, I would forget somebody and offend somebody, so I won't do that. But we now have some time to start putting together some thank you cards, so we'll try to get those out. His doctor's appointment went well. His blood count is doing well.
Good. It's within the levels.
Yeah, so for his Coumadin heart thing. So, so the work task was the Jeep, we mentioned that. We also, while we were waiting for the Jeep to get completed, we spent some time at getting the farm truck clean.
Oh, that was a task. I think it took us, about an hour just to vacuum it out and everything.
2 hours total. Literally of, cow, oh God knows what, in the car, and just dust and dog hair. We take the dogs in that vehicle a lot. Cleaning nose art off the inside of the windshield and windows. And
plus we took them to Tractor Supply. They got a dog bathing station, which actually is pretty neat. I think it's $6 per dog. Is $6 or $9? I think it's $9. I think it's $9 per dog. You could go in there. They got bathing stations, water, towels, all the supplies to clip their nails, groom them, hair dryers. I mean, it was really neat and it was really good.
Which that was a few weeks ago,
right?
Not today.
And then the bad thing is, after you groom them and everything, you get them in the car. Boy, they shed like a sieve. Yep. I mean, we had dog hair all over the place. So it took us a while to get all the dog hair and clean it out, all the mud and everything. So it looks really good.
It does.
Took us, like you said, it took us a while. Then we washed it, but the wash didn't looked like after we were done, it kind of looked like what it did before we went in.
You think so? Yeah, I don't think so. I think it looks better.
I don't know.
There was less cat prints on it.
I know. Our cats like to walk all over our vehicle, especially when they come back when they're warm. You find all these paw prints on top of it. So,
yeah.
But it looked good.
Yeah. So that was a fun thing. Or I say fun thing.
I don't know. Most of the vacuums weren't working, so she'd pull in. Oh, it's not working. You got to move somewhere else. After about the third time, she's like, I'm tired of backing this thing up.
Backing up that truck is a beast. It's like a tank. Yeah. Anyway, so fun tasks. Okay, so I gave up on the boots situation as like making my own. So Oscar ran in and grabbed a pair of boots from Petco because they're
PetSmart.
PetSmart. Their winter stuff's on sale. Just so you know. So we had our test run tonight because when we got home, Maddie had been letting the dogs out while we were gone. They were covered in mud.
They were
I don't
playing
know
in the
how
mud.
long they'd been outside, but they were like caked. So I very generously let her take them into her shower downstairs where she's staying and wash them off. And so she sent them upstairs, and so we booted them up, and they actually did really well. Test run went well. We lost one boot on the way in the door, so it was at least here. So I think the more they get used to it, they sit right down for us to take them off. So I think more they get used to it, this may actually be a success. So I thought that was kind of fun. Plus now I get to put away all the sewing stuff, the pens, the duct tape, the doggy diapers, and all the other supplies I'd pulled out. So,
nanny diapers.
Yeah, the nanny diapers. So, and then since when we got home, because we were so tired, I called Maddie and said, Mija, would you be willing to come out and feed the cows? Because they're acting like they're dying.
Of course,
again.
As soon as they see us, they're over there running to the fence.
Running to the fence, like, feed us. And my favorite is Dale, because he's found his moo. And it comes from, like, his toes, and it's like, moo. And it, like, is this long, extenuated moo, like he's dying.
It's a complete moo now. Before, it was like a half moo. It was like he was dying.
Yeah, so now he's found it.
Now he's got a complete moo. I would say it was like kind of like a rooster when he's fully mature. He's got a real nice crow. Yeah. That's how Dale is. He's got a nice, mature moo.
So, and then, let's see. Yeah, fed starving cows. That was kind of our fun today. Most of the day was spent in the town, and so we're looking forward to some rest after that. A couple tips for this week, or for today. Make sure to be prepared for your pets. Like, a couple of things we were so worried about. Do we have rice? Do we have beans? Do we have toilet paper? Do we have all of the toiletries and bathroom things? But it's like, do you have salt blocks? Do you have extra hay? Do you have enough dog food? Now some of and cat food, because they won't get their own food, which they should, but whatever.
Especially this one.
She's a homebody.
She will not leave the house. Now her sister.
We have two, and one has white feet, looks just like her. I think she lives somewhere else half the time.
She's gone half the time.
We'll see her like almost up at the highway, like running back towards the house when she sees us, and it's like,
But this one never leaves. Yep. She's a homebody. She'll be at the door when she's hungry, pawing at the window.
Paw at the window and the doorknob. Like she'll come and like tap the doorknob, like hello.
Feed me, Seymour.
So yeah. So just don't forget your pets. We're kind of getting words through, all of the website, Google and all these other things that we may be quarantined. a month or more. We're
I don't
hearing
know.
maybe to the mid of May. So we had enough of most everything. All we need now is a salt block, which we forgot to pick up while we were in town today. So we're going to call MFA or whoever that is and have them set it outside, and then we'll just go pick it up after they close tomorrow, so that way we're not having to interact with anybody else, just to be safe. So I think that then we'll have everything covered. So just think about your pets too while you're preparing.
Another thing, when I went out today, there was at Walgreens to get my prescription. They were having problems with the internet, so all the credit card machines were down, the drive-through was down. So I had to go in and just kind of be careful. A lot of people were kind of getting ugly, yelling. The line was kind of long. People were getting impatient, especially as I got up towards the front of the line, and machines, like I said, the internets were down, so they came up and they said they couldn't take any debit cards or credit cards, cash only. People really started getting ugly. So just kind of be careful, watch out. I mean, there was a lot of yelling and everything going on. The other thing, when Maddie texted us, and the funny thing was she texted us after we left Walgreens that she needed contact solution and everything. So I was like, something else. So when we stopped in Dollar General, I think it was, some lady come in and she was asking about toilet paper, paper towels, and I guess every place she went, they were totally out, and she got really ugly with the attendants, the cashiers. And again, it's not their fault. They're doing the best they can, and don't blame the cashiers. And I was talking to them, and she's like, we've been here since 6 o'clock in the morning. She said that from 6 to 8, we were stocking the shelves, and as soon as we opened, people were coming in and just grabbing everything. And I guess my only advice is grab what you need. Don't take excess unless you're buying for someone else, or you're buying for family, but just take what you need. And I guess there's people out there that are just hoarding, and if everybody just buy what you need or for other people, there'd be enough for everybody. Don't overdo it. Just be wise, and we're all in this together, so if we all kind of watch out for one another, there'd be enough for everybody. And I guess the big thing is just be careful and watch out. As times get harder, and from what the news is saying, and I don't know how true it is, and from what we're hearing, the potential is out there to get bad. Just be careful and watch out. Especially don't go out by yourself. Go out, with in pairs.
And like I stayed in the car for most of these visits.
Yeah, I didn't let her go out there because she don't need to be out in this. So I wore a mask.
And I because most of you guys know, a few months ago somebody tried to snatch me out of my car. So I carry anyway. But I certainly kept the doors locked. We parked close to the door, and I was open carrying today, so that it was clear that if someone would mess with me, I just wanted them to know ahead of time I was not going to play around. So again, if there's any way possible for you to not have to be out there by yourself, please don't. And if you don't have to go, don't. Like I was hearing something on the news today about a lot of these young people going out and partying and just like, oh, it's no big deal, we don't care. And I'm like, yep. And then you're going to take that to your grandma.
And most of the stores, like the fast food restaurants, all of the dining facilities are closed. The only thing that's open are the drive-throughs. Gail had to eat, so we went to Good Sense.
Good Sense.
The only thing you can do is call and park, and they'll bring it out to you, or delivery.
And we even saw police officers trying to go in, and they were like, nope. Go outside and order. And
they'll bring it out to you.
When she brought our food, she said, sir, go wait in your car. Like, she told three police officers, go get in your car. Please don't stand by the door. We'll bring you your food when it's ready. And I'm like, woo, they are not kidding around. So, again, if you can stay home, just do it.
Olive Garden, most fast food, restaurants are closed. So
So last tip, because I don't want this to go too long today. I know yesterday's was a little bit long.
Yeah.
So take time to get alone with God. Now, I know a lot of people, and I say a lot of people as in I'm pointing at my fingers here first. I've used the excuse, well, I'm too busy. I have so much going on. I've got work, I've got kids, I've got this, I've got that, and a million excuses. Well, guess what? God just cleared your plate.
Yeah.
So you can, even if you have little children at home, get up a little earlier before they do. There's no excuse. Like, there's literally no excuse, especially when you're quarantined at home, to not get alone with God. If you're sick, you can get alone with God in your bed. You do not have to be like in a prayer closet or, you know, in your favorite chair or whatever. You can get alone with God right where you are. And I'm sure most of our friends are doing that anyway, but maybe you've never really prayed before. Maybe you've not had that kind of close relationship with God, or you're wanting to have that kind of close relationship with God. I encourage you, now's the time. There's never been a better time than to just start talking to God. And, you know, people often will say, how do you, I don't know how to pray. I've sinned so much in life. God wouldn't even want to hear me, wouldn't even want to hear my voice. And that's a lie from the devil. So just start talking to him like you're talking to a person sitting in front of you. And like, it doesn't have to be holy and pretty and all this other stuff. Just talk to him. And for those of you who are seasoned prayers, let this be a time of pressing in. So while we're all stuck at home, I encourage you, if it's, you know, if there's you and at least one other person in your house, you should still be having church on Sunday and Wednesday. Because I remember when I was a kid, my dad was a pastor, and if we were all homesick, guess what? We were still at church. We would be sitting there with our oxygen tanks and feeding tubes and whatever else you had, and Daddy was going to be preaching. So you can sit and watch some churches are broadcasting. I know that one of our dear friends, Jason Baichu, down in Trinidad, they are going to continue broadcasting services. And so even if nothing in America is broadcasting, as long as we have the internet, we have access to church services, or just taking that time to sing worship to the Lord, get alone with God, pray. So take this time to be a season, not just a physical refreshing as we're all just trying to get well and stay well, but let it be a season of spiritual refreshing as well. Let it be that you walk out of your quarantine literally armed and ready to just be the man or woman of God that God has called you to be. Scripture for today. Now this is my mother's life verse. She tells everybody this. It's Romans 8:28. And we know this, that all things work together for the good to them that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. And I love that scripture because, one, I heard it my entire childhood, like probably the first scripture I ever learned before even John 3:16. But what I learned at that, it was just kind of pounded into me as a kid. Doesn't matter what happens to you. Doesn't matter what the world's doing. It doesn't matter what your neighbor's doing. Because if you love the Lord, and we know we're called according, if you're a child of God, you're called according to his purposes. If you love the Lord and you're trying to serve him, it's all going to work out. All things work together. That scripture doesn't say some things. It says all things work together. And that is a confidence that we can have in the Lord. Lastly, our plans, because like we got our little, I have to show you this because I'm, again, my organized nerdness. So then I'm just kind of refilling in every day. So we're at day 2. So just in case you're wondering, my little
here. See, you should show them. You think they would have thought, boy, they're organized. Yeah. They're organized.
No,
you gave our secret away.
I'm not that
Darn
smart.
it.
So our plan, tomorrow is probably going to be a day of rest for us. It's not the Sabbath per se, but it may be our Sabbath because we are tired. I didn't sleep well last night because I'm having a lot of leg issues since I've come home. I was walking on the treadmill every day, riding the bike every day in the hospital, but for some reason, since I've been home, my muscles and my legs are just like rock hard. They're seizing up on me. They're like throbbing at night. I'm having trouble sleeping, and I don't have restless leg or anything. So my sweet husband, literally less than an hour ago, took a rolling pin to me, and I swear to Jesus,
not to her head,
not to my head,
to her legs.
He literally rolling pinned my legs, and then was like, roll over, and he got the backside of the legs, and so it actually did kind of tenderize the muscles a little bit. So, you know.
I could get a meat tenderizer.
Started beating on, yeah, I prefer the rolling pin. So see, rolling pins are for more than just cooking or beating your husband in the head with it. So Friday, I'm hoping to start seeing clients. We've been trying to get the telemed thing set up through my office, and so hopefully we will, I will be able to go into my office and at least make face-to-face or face-to-face through telehealth contact with some of my clients. And for me, that's always a sense of normalcy. Like once I get home from the hospital, just getting back in my chair and just being able to be present with my patients just makes me feel better. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm sure some of my patients who are just like, okay, when's this gonna happen? I'm sure they're gonna be happy about it too. The other thing that we're gonna do, and I encourage you, if you haven't ordered a black light, did I mention this yesterday? I can't remember. If I did, I apologize.
Oh yeah.
So if you haven't ordered a black light, Amazon may or may not deliver it now because, you know, they're only shipping certain things. But anyway, we'd ordered a black light a while ago. So, and I say this not just because you want to yell at your husband for all the gross stuff you find on the wall, but for us, something else that we discovered on our walls was mold. Mold shows up with these black lights. And I have been telling him for months, I smell mold. I smell mold. He goes, baby, I don't. We've washed the rugs. We've bleached the tubs in the shower, and I've bleached around the toilet, and I could never see any. And so, but with the black light, apparently we have got this like film. Would you stop trying to bite me, kitty? Are you mad because I said I don't? I'm not choking her. Is it because I said I didn't like cats? Is that it? So we have a film of mold all over our bathroom. So our plan is to make a little bleach solution. We talked to my mom today. She gave us a plan of how to fix it. If we have strength tomorrow, we'll do that. That's definitely not going to be a fun task. That'll be a work task.
Maybe we'll just dip the cat in bleach and water and
wash the wall.
Wash the wall.
Anyway, so if not, we maybe get that done this weekend. But that could be a part of why I've continued to get sick over and over and over again, is we may have had been bleach on the walls the whole time. I don't know. So anyway, so that's our day 2 of quarantine. Hopefully tomorrow is much less exciting and busy than today was. So again, thank you for the comments from the post yesterday. And definitely be sharing with us what you're doing with your time, how you're spending your time, tasks that you're doing, fun things that you're doing, games that maybe you and your family are playing.
And share them, because it might be fun for everybody else.
Yeah.
Good ideas.
So we're going to play Slap the Bull tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, we love you guys. Thank you so much for your prayers. Thank you again to our Railroad family that have just really kept us floating the last few months. And we know that every gift comes from the Lord, but you have to be obedient. And you guys are the ones that are taking from your family. Everyone has needs right now, and so for you to be willing to do that, we just cannot say thank you enough. We love you, and we look forward to talking to you tomorrow, hopefully much more rested. All right, you guys have a great night.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Right,
or what's left of it.
Or a good night's sleep.
Yes.
Bye-bye.